No, I'm trying to bring my thing up. Oh.
I had to go up. Check out my
You got it?
Check out my
I'm the only one that Huh? You got it?
How about that one?
I'm like, hey.
What's your, come on now, what's your thought? Stop.
Yeah.
Good.
I know. You look like you the good. Look, he's like. So you spoke at the event, yeah.
Actually, it's funny you said that. I'm glad you were both there. We're looking to host another forum. This time it's going to be centered around the voice of the young people.
Yeah.
So it's in the works now. We're putting it together. We have we're partnering with this dynamic young lady.
All right, guys.
What up?
Welcome. Welcome everybody to Light Talk. Listen, we back again, 7 p.m. on the dot. How's everybody doing? Shout out to our viewers. Hey, I'm Kalia. Y'all know. Y'all see me all the time. Listen, I took a break, but I'm back. I missed y'all. I missed you.
We miss you too.
We also have somebody else back. It's been a while. She was on our first 2 episodes and she took a little break, but she's back like she never left.
I did.
What's your name? What's your name, sweet thing?
Well, I go by the name of ZZ.
Meema's in the building.
Yeah, I know. I took a little break, but it feels
she's
so
back.
good to be back. It
She's
feels
back.
good to be back on.
Listen, guys, as you know, we switch it up. We keep it real fresh on Light Talk, okay?
Yes, we do.
I know you see these beautiful faces that you haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
They blessed us with their presence.
What's your name?
I'm glad to be here. My name is Ivory. Christian, my trainer, my partner, we're both here to shed some light on health and wellness and what it truly means to be healthy.
Awesome.
Yes,
Thank
guys.
you so
Ivory
much.
and Christian are physical
Business partners. We
fitness,
are
health instructors
fitness gurus.
at a local gym. They are professional, so we about to get some real good tips today.
I'm excited.
Okay?
I'm excited.
And
I'm
also-
gonna take notes myself. So.
To my right, we have a beautiful mental health advocate. Okay, we got some people at this table tonight, and she can introduce herself.
I'm Sister Evie. Thank you so much.
Evie.
I'm so blessed to be here. I watch every Friday. I am a faithful listener, and I watch you guys every Friday. You guys always have me laughing. I'm so excited to be here and to share my insight on mental illness.
Definitely help.
I am the co-founder with Christian, who's over there. You guys probably can't see him. Of Ward. We gear towards mental health. And yeah.
Look, and we cannot forget. I mean, Christian not here and Matt not here, but we can't forget to give him a shout out.
Shout out.
That's right.
Shout out.
Listen, because we got a live audience. Live audience, give us a hand clap. Everybody.
Look, I said if y'all gonna be in the live audience, you gotta be as hyping as Kalia and I were last week.
We must turn, okay? So shout out to our live audience. We got Prophet Skirly in the back. Listen, he wears many hats, okay? He be on the table, he be behind the scenes, and he an audience, okay?
Yes.
And we also have, listen, the #1 winner of every gift that we ever gave away. Danny Hannah is in the audience.
Welcome,
She got
Danny.
all the School of Light gifts.
Welcome,
Okay, she's
Danny.
faithful.
All
Amen.
right, amen. All right, so let's get to the
Let's
good
go.
stuff.
Let's get it.
to the good stuff. All
Let's
right,
get it.
health and wellness.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an important topic. It's a big topic.
it's one that cannot be ignored or not talked about because it's very prevalent, especially in today's society. So we're gonna start off a little straight to the punch with a little true and false.
Gut check.
A little gut check, a little icebreaker. Y'all ready for this? All right, so audience, you can participate too.
Please
audience,
chime
if
in.
you want. All right, so if you're in the comment section, respond, to the answers, and so let's get to it. So we're gonna deal right now just with a little bit of like mental health, mental illness questions. So the first question, right? True or false?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Mental illness is a disease. What y'all think?
I'm gonna say true.
What y'all think? Mental illness is a disease. True or false?
So I'm gonna say depends on who you're asking. It depends on who you're asking. If you ask a spiritual person, we'll say it's false. But if you ask someone of the world who may not have a spiritual insight or a relationship with God through prayer, they will say that it is a disease. So it all depends on the person that you're asking.
That's a good answer.
So you're not saying true or false.
She said I'm a false. That's the answer.
What you got, Christian?
I'm gonna go with Evie on that one. With her divide.
That's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead. Let's hear you, Audrey. What you got?
I think I'm gonna side with my partner also.
Okay,
Well,
they got no
it's a
going
good
on.
question. It's a good question, but honestly, I think because of the fact that when you break down mental illness, there's many variations to it, and I think when you're dealing with something that's treatable, I wouldn't necessarily just label it a disease. You have to really peel back certain layers and find out exactly what it is that we're dealing with.
Right.
Mental illness is pretty broad and
All right.
topic.
Talk heavy now.
Yeah, I know.
Talk
right?
heavy.
Let's
We
get
try to
deep
keep it
now.
light. It never works.
That's true.
It never works. We always
Light
get
talk.
heavy. But, amen.
Amen. All right, so let's hit you with another one. All right. Mental illness can stem from childhood trauma. All right. We getting a little deep with this. True or false? True or false?
True.
What y'all think?
I'm gonna go with true with that one.
True.
Yeah.
Why you say true? What you got?
I think anything that, like any type of trauma, can trigger something to reoccur in your life, especially if you can't deal with it, especially at a young age. You're not mature enough to really verbalize and speak what's going on inside you, so that can develop and within you and not even be aware of it. So
Okay. So all of our viewers, wait a minute.
What they saying?
Jamal said true.
True.
Danny said true. Come on, Danny. You better be in the audience and participate.
Jamal said
Jency
true.
Pardo? Is that how you said it?
Yensha, okay.
Yensha.
Shout out to Yensha. That's my
Shout
sister.
out to Yensha.
Yeah.
That's Ivy's sister. She said false.
She said false. So
She
that's
did.
surprising.
No, I think false might have been for the first one.
She
Okay,
already
okay,
responded.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I think we were unanimous true. I think it was a unanimous true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about how how childhood trauma, how we carry that into our adolescence or into our adulthood, and a lot of the reactions that we have as adults, it could have stemmed from stuff that we deal with when we're younger, but because of the stigma of mental health or mental illness, we don't identify it as I have a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? I'm just angry or I'm just upset or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll actually go a little further and say I absolutely feel it's true. I feel that there's a lot of research that indicates that trauma not only affects us on an emotional level or mental or spiritual level, but it actually alters our genetic makeup.
So physically.
It affects your DNA, and these things are lasting. Traumas are lasting impacts or imprints on your DNA, and you can reverse some of the effects through therapy, through various means. It definitely affects us. Yeah.
No, that's true. What do you think, Evie?
No, it definitely affects us in so many different ways, and I'll just share in one aspect. For all the young ladies that are watching, I was speaking to someone a few months ago, and you know, we were dealing with an issue with why she was sleeping around with married men. And just to go a little deep, right? Because sometimes it's easier for us to judge a situation like that. And we began to just go deep with her and trying to see why she identified with that was okay. And so when she was a young girl, her uncle, who was her aunt's boyfriend or husband, you know, he touched her, he molested her, and she identified with that secret because it was a secret for her for so long. So the trauma of that became her identity in life. So it was okay for her to be in these secret relationships. It was normal for her, when the reality was it was a mental illness that she was dealing with,
right?
Because that's how she identified herself. And so you know, I say it's true because of those situations.
That's a great example of exactly how it affects us on a genetic level.
Yeah, you know, why do you think like society has such a stigma with mental illness? Like, for example, like within the African American community, you don't really hear a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of swept under the rug. It's like, wait, she ain't got no mental illness. There's no mental health problems with her. That's just kind of how the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Why is mental illness, do you feel, so hard to talk about? Not just within the African American community, but just in general, you know?
Well, I mean, I could speak for the African American community.
Yeah.
Why it's a stigma? Because I don't think that, you know, not to get too deep, I don't think that we realize or address the trauma that we may go through or face all the time. You know what I mean? Like, some of these things have become a norm. And so it's just like, oh, was she angry, or oh, she upset. There's also a thing within our community with counseling. You know what I mean? Maybe not wanting to go or thinking that it could be handled a different way. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's a stigma, because it's like conditioned. You know what I mean? We're conditioned to it, and I don't think we realize the trauma that we've faced even throughout hundreds of years, even up until now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that no other race has been in traumatic situations, but I am speaking, you know, for our community, the things that we went through. I just think we've adapted to it, and so it doesn't even seem like it's a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's easily swept.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to share on that too. I think the reason why is because, you know, back in like the early 1900s, even until recently, it was easier to, you know, put people that had a mental illness away in a home.
True. Yeah.
You know, and give them medication and kind of like keep them out of society, because nobody really had good research on how to help these people, you know. So and so it was taught that people that were dealing with the mental illness were crazy, right? So you really didn't have much information on how to help these people.
That's a good point.
You know, and now, thank God, you see a lot more people talking about depression and anxiety, and that it's okay to talk about these situations. It's okay to talk about how you're feeling, and it's okay not to be okay sometimes, right? Right. So I think the reason why is because we're not educated on the different ways of mental illness.
What were you gonna say, Everett?
I had some opportunities to work, fortunately, in a school that had a trauma-informed approach, where we treated the students in a different manner altogether. It was more so trying to gain understanding of where the behavior stems from. And when you speak of the African American community specifically, you have to go back to our inception in this country. And once you understand the level of trauma, going back just from our voyage here, you know, and understand that passage, the trauma that stemmed from that.
Right.
I think it was by design that these traumas were not addressed, because in order to address these traumas, you have to then seek treatment, and that in itself is a form of reparations.
Right,
so, you know, there's a lot of things that were ignored, and like Kalia said, we were forced to adapt, if you will, to some of these realities.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, about trauma is that, or mental illness, is that it's no respecter of persons.
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
we only think people with, who are older, maybe the older generation just deal with mental illness, or the young kids now, they don't deal with issues with mental illness. Like, for example, I'll use myself, just a couple of months ago, I went through a situation in my life where it really affected me, spiritually, physically, and even like mentally, and the things that you kind of go through, like, you don't really associate that with, like, oh my God, I'm going through trauma or mental illness at this point. It wasn't until I started kind of like Googling your symptoms,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Then you're like, dang, okay, check. Am I dealing with mental illness, So I think it's just so important to be aware, and in tune with your mind and your body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna read just a couple comments. People are jumping in. I guess this response was to the stigma, like, why is it? And Christian said, what happens in this house stays in this house. Is the African American home, like, that's what was taught. You know what I mean? And you grow up taught to cover things up.
Going back
I
to
can,
that.
Going back.
I
to,
can
yeah.
definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that. Absolutely. Secrets in the family.
Yeah,
It stems
yeah.
back. You're not allowed to show any type of down to your life, to your lifestyle. Everything has to be pristine and perfect
Keeping
out
up-
in the
keeping up
forefront.
with the
And you have to
Yeah.
have that appearance. You
Yeah.
can't step out and be, this is who I am. This is who I have to deal with. This is my family or whoever. You have to make sure that everything is covered up.
Yeah.
I have family members who have struggled with different types of mental illness. I have an aunt who has Down syndrome, so I can remember she wasn't allowed to go outside. She didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
She stayed in the house.
wow.
Wow. She's not like that anymore.
Right.
But just because we didn't know how to handle it at the time.
Right. There was like pressure,
Right.
I think that goes. I guess that goes with what you're saying, because Christian also said, in addition, most don't want that label. It appears that you're weak,
Failure.
something's wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
exactly.
it's just
The perception
Yeah.
of society,
Yeah.
places
Yeah.
on us.
Or
Yeah.
keep-
As
keeping up that
African
image.
Americans or any ethnic culture,
Yeah.
we have to have that standard of we got to be better because they're judging us.
yeah,
Wow.
that's true.
Wow. All right, so let's go on to the next true and false question. You guys are
Mhm.
doing awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, so true and false. As a friend, you can't do anything for a person with mental health difficulties. True or false? You can't do anything for them.
False.
I don't agree with
False.
that.
False. Look, he's shaking his head. He's like, false. False. What you got?
I have a different
Okay, what you got, Lily?
twist on it. I mean, go ahead,
No, there
Christian.
you go. You got it. You got it.
I would say true and false.
True
I'll
and
explain.
false.
I'll explain why. You can do things to walk, to just be there with them, walk through it with them, be present with them. You know what I mean? But you can only do but so much. You understand what I'm saying? Because we may take on, like, we gotta save this person. And I mean, even with prayer, I mean, you're going in and crying out to the Lord, and you're calling and you're checking up and you're visiting, and depending on where they are and what state they're in, like, there's just still struggling and battling with that illness, and you're right there watching it with doing everything that you can. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you can't do nothing, but sometimes what you're doing, it may not be the thing that to flip them over. But you can walk with them. You know what I mean? You can be present with them and walk through it with them and be there, and don't just be like, well, listen, you too negative all the time. I can't take it. I'm out. Because listen,
It's true.
When I've experienced, and I can say just recently I've experienced, knowing somebody that battles with that mental illness, very heavy depression, just suicidal and things like that. And it's like you get to a point where you're doing everything, you giving God His word, like you said that she be healed, and you know what I mean, all these things, and that person was still battling. You know what I mean? So I say it's a giver give or take type of thing.
I'm gonna politely disagree with you.
Oh, we got disagreement.
Amen. Come on, Christian.
I'm gonna say it's doing nothing is still doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I'll be the first one to say I have a Superman complex. I can save everybody. But if I choose not to do something for that person for whatever reason, that's still helping me. I'm still, regardless of if I'm physically pouring out to them or praying, or it's like if the Lord is telling me shut it down.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
He's still being helped because you're backing away, and now whatever experience that person has to go through is now going to change them, impact their life from there.
Amen.
So
That's some
still
good
success.
answer.
Very good answer. Very good answer.
Amen.
You got something to say?
I agree with Christian. I do understand Kalia's point. I actually had this conversation yesterday with someone, and though you can choose to help someone, there are cases where you encounter your limitations. You may have a loved one that is suffering from mental illness, and that may limit them. Well, I can't really have them around my children, and so you have to make certain sacrifices. But what Christian said is 100% true. Not taking action is a position that can be effective in itself. So it's a thin line that you have to kind of walk. But it's you can definitely choose to be effective in someone's life, whether they have mental illness or not. But obviously, if someone is dealing with it, you want to take some kind of approach.
Yeah. So, Evie, what would you say? Name 5 things that you think someone can do for somebody that is going through or struggling through, mental illness.
So the 5 things would be, number 1, of course, pray for them.
Amen.
Number 2, always check up on that person. Whether it's a phone call or going to the house to visit them. Number 3, find resources for that person depending on the situation that they're dealing with. And one of the resources that I can, give you right now is WAR. We're here for you if you need us. Well at Rehoboth is what WAR stands for. We are only a phone call away, and you can also contact us via Messenger on Facebook.
You lend an ear.
And number 4 would be to keep the line of communication open with them, extend that person to your church home or to other churches, and then number 5, I'm going to agree with Christian, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes when he went like that, when you do nothing, will bring someone to a complete surrender in God. And I remember the moment that my back was up against the wall and I had no mom, no dad, no sister, no church family. I had nobody to call on. And that was my moment that I completely surrendered and said, okay, God, if you are real, please be with me. Do something to show me. And he did exactly that. So sometimes doing nothing, of course, continue to pray for them, but doing nothing will get that person to the point of healing that they need.
A surrender. Yeah. Because sometimes I feel like when you, we'll shift to the next question, but I feel like, again, when you enable a person, they get really dependent on that. And it can even be exhausting to the other person who feels as though, like, I'm giving my all, and it's depleting me. So now you got, 2 people, who feel depleted rather than one person that you're trying to help. So it can be a little exhausting,
That makes me think. That makes me think of something.
I feel like we need a light
ding, ding,
bulb.
ding, 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 ding. So this question is actually for the trainers.
Okay.
The fitness. Because it made me think, right? You say mental illness, of course, that's in the mind, right? Some people have studied and said that the mental illness can also be triggered by your diet. Things that you're eating.
Let's go. Let's talk
I've
about
even
it.
heard people talking about the way animals Am I going too deep?
No.
Because I'm about to cut it. I'm about to cut right in this joint. I've even heard people talk about the way animals are killed. For the food that we eat.
Yes.
In panic, in fear, anxiety, whatever, as they're being slaughtered, and that's the meat. That energy, because that stuff don't die. It keep going. Gets passed through the meat. People have studied that, and I've heard that more than once. And in my mind, it could make sense. You know what I mean? So my question for you guys is,
come on now.
what are foods, like good eating habits that you can adapt to help your mind? You know what I mean? If there's food out there that supports brain activity and brain health and things like that.
Let me take my notes down now.
What are some foods we can incorporate into our diet to boost brain health, because it's still mental? You know what I mean? That's still
I think that's great how you tie that in with the dieting, but I'm gonna defer to Christian. I think we both have ideas running through our minds. So, I'm gonna definitely give him the floor first.
I mean, listen, I've seen that on the board, y'all. Some nuts do something for your head. I've seen it.
Good. I'm glad we could touch upon
You
that.
can go there. Look, get your first one. Talk about the nuts.
Light talk.
Well, I'll throw this one out there. Macadamia nuts give you energy. I could use macadamia nut right now. But as far as mental health, I think fish. Fish.
Oh yeah.
Anything with
fish
omega
oil.
3s, so you are gonna have some nuts that you actually have those omega 3s. That's gonna help the mental health and your just your mind just be sharper.
Okay.
And activate a little bit better.
Right.
I'm a big proponent of staying away from things with added sugar.
Okay.
So, sugar is a natural inflammatory and inflamed. So I don't want anything that's going to set me off inside. I don't want something that's going to, have me calm down.
Yeah.
Take those little extras outside of your body so you can operate better. Your body is going to appreciate it much more. Anti-inflammatory types of foods. You're looking at ginger, garlic. Turmeric is another one that's big right now.
Yeah.
Those types of foods that being added into your diet on a regular basis can definitely help your brain function, your body function overall.
Okay, awesome.
And those are just slight changes,
Slight. It's
just
not a whole lot.
Yeah. I've heard of fish oil though. Like they sell on like the supplements.
And I mean, you could do the fish oil. I would probably do a fish oil or something close to it. I don't do meat. So I would have to do some type of supplement to replace that.
So are you vegan?
I'm vegan.
Straight vegan.
Straight vegan.
It's true, guys. We were drinking. I did not say that now. We were drinking cashew milk.
Cashew milk.
Fresh cashew
homemade
milk.
cashew
Like homemade
milk, homemade almond
cashew milk. It was pretty good.
Shout out to Ayana for that.
Wait, I just want to add that Christian completely changed my life.
Come on now.
So, for those that don't know, he is my trainer. So, when I saw him on the picture, I was like, oh, wait, I've been avoiding him for like several weeks. I couldn't believe it. I was like, if that's not God's conviction, I don't know what is. Right. But I will say this, for those that may think like that you can't change your diet, you can. Because I went from loving meat, steak, potatoes and all those good, things, a piece of steak on the grill, it's summertime. But when I finally took the challenge of changing my eating habits, I felt like the most beautiful woman on earth. You can tell, y'all know. I mean, I was posting all kinds of stuff on the band, and talking about when we were doing our Daniel fast. I was sharing a lot of recipes, vegan recipes.
We have a whole cookbook.
And yes, we do. But I felt like Superwoman when I changed my diet.
Yeah.
I did. I felt like Superwoman. And there's something about when you're exercising, you're working out, those natural endorphins are released. And like they give you this amount of energy. It changes your life. I wish I had like a before and after picture of what I looked like about a year and a half ago to today.
Yeah.
So shout out to Christian.
Thanks for those ideas, though. Hope you guys been taking notes.
Well, Christian dropped some specific foods and some of the effects that they can have. Nilsa really tied it in with the exercise component. And what it all comes down to is that we are electrical beings. And once you understand how we operate truly as humans, it affects our frequencies. And certain foods lower your frequency. Certain foods raise your frequency. And when your frequency is raised, when you have a vegan lifestyle, when health is something that your life is centered around, you operate and live a different manner because your brain waves function differently, and you're more in tune, you're more awakened, if you will.
Aware.
And these things all come directly from the foods that we eat. When you hear the phrase, pour what you eat, I was referring to David earlier. I was calling him, he was eating a turkey sandwich. Call them a turkey or whatever, but you truly are what you eat, and these things affect you on so many different levels. And turkey, for instance, is something, processed meat. We think of it, it's promoted. Turkey tastes good. Turkey tastes good, and it's promoted as lean poultry. But when you really peel back the layers, what you're doing is giving a fancy name to processed meat that's loaded with sodium. That these things affect us. These are the reasons why we're dealing with hypertension, elevated blood pressure. These things stem from directly the lifestyle and nutritional lifestyle that we choose to have.
And to piggyback off of that, I even do a flip on the vegan side. You got unhealthy vegans out there. French fries is not.
Let's talk about it. Come on,
Call them out. They're out there.
French fries were my best friend when I first.
I'll even throw myself under the bus because this is one of my favorites. Tortilla chips is not a healthy food.
Hear that?
So making those healthier choices, subtleties. That's the biggest thing that I can probably do.
I'm sorry. Matt.
She's laughing at his comment, not you.
You're so squirrely. You back there being squirrely.
No, go ahead, Christian.
I could say just small subtleties. You don't have to make a huge amount of change overnight. It took time for you to get to where you are currently. So make sure you just take small steps forward to progress your life. Because everyone's trying to do like, I'm going to change everything. I'm going to do this. That's not realistic.
Come on, Christian.
It's not realistic. So just
some
small changes. If you drink a Pepsi every single day,
Baby
drink
steps.
half a cup. Water it down. Do something different.
You ain't tell me
That is so true.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Look, I'm gonna share something.
Go ahead, Mima. Right? Go ahead.
So this week I had an appointment with my doctor, right? And obviously I'm a transparent person. So I had an appointment with my doctor. He like, we got your blood work back. Everything looked good except your sugar a little high.
She said a little high.
A little high.
A little high.
I said, what you mean? Like, all I eat is fruits and vegetables here, right? Okay. So, and it's crazy. Like, I really needed to hear that because when he said your sugar a little high, my mind automatically was like, today I am just getting rid of all sugar. I am not eating sugar today, next hour. And it was like the next hour I was like, ooh, this chocolate bar real good. So it's like little changes,
No,
you know?
I will say this, and I'm this helps out a lot. Fasting helps a lot.
Okay.
I will say fasting, like even the Daniel fast, for example. When you're fasting, you reset your body. This is it's a faith walk when you're doing it. So it resets you all over, your mind, your spirit, and your physical. It's all reset. So when you start doing that, and then you can find like, all right, the Daniel fast is over. What am I going to do? You have a choice to decide. All right, am I going to go back to eating all the stuff I was, or am I going to continue doing some of this, or maybe all of it? That was the biggest thing for me when I changed my lifestyle. When I decided I'm going to do vegan, it came off of the Daniel fast.
Wow, because you have to detox your body.
Detox your body.
Because it's like those cravings are still there.
Correct.
So my mind's like, we're not doing this. But my body's like, I'm already so used to doing this. Like, just pick up that chocolate bar. So, amen. I'm going to take that advice and do the Daniel fast again. I'm going to be in prayer about that.
Listen, I praise God that you intervened. That was called a divine intervention. That's what happened right here. Because honestly, Z, like, You can't. It's very hard to eliminate sugar. You would be surprised.
It's in everything.
What sugar is
it's
in
everything.
almost everything. There are even some vegetables that break down to sugar.
Well, all carbohydrates break down into sugar.
Listen, they all break down to sugar.
And your body
So-
goes through withdrawal when you do.
Yeah, you get headaches.
Yeah, your body goes through withdrawal, just like a heroin addict goes through withdrawal from drugs. You will go through withdrawal from sugar.
Right.
Headaches.
Pepsi was my best friend.
Listen, you can have a cup of
You,
water.
you remember every time we had a church function, I would feel bad if I was drinking a Pepsi or something around Christian.
Yeah.
But you know, in the words of Matthew Cooley, we are what we eat.
said-
He's over there in the live audience. He's
what
like,
are you
I'm a General Toast chicken. I love Chinese as well.
He said that's probably why I've been talking all that junk.
Let's go to our live audience.
Live audience got a question. So what's like the food we want to stay away from? Like stay away from these. They will throw you off.
Pork and red meat. Go ahead and tell them, yo.
Okay, there's a wide range of foods that you really want to avoid.
Don't tell me chicken, because it ain't.
Oftentimes, people think all fish are safe to eat. Tilapia. Tilapia is something that's beyond toxic.
Dun, dun, dun.
We should not be consuming tilapia.
Tell my husband that.
It's the cheapest fish in the market.
Yeah, and they're
for a
farm
reason,
raising it,
you know?
right?
Farm raised fish you want to
Farm-raised
avoid.
fish.
There's a wide range of food. Definitely pork, dairy. The dairy industry are probably
He going deep. He getting heavy.
You know.
He getting heavy.
these, cheese, milk. This is all dairy. These are things that when I was an educator for 12 years, and when we break down the food groups, dairy is pushed in the school systems, but dairy is not something that we as humans need to consume.
It's true.
And Dr. Sabi, I'm glad to be able to mention his name in this forum, but
Yeah.
Dr. Sabi taught us so many valuable nutritional things that we need to really incorporate and gain understanding for,
Yeah.
to be able to apply them to our lives.
Well, they push the dairy for the calcium, but there's other ways to get calcium.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
realize
Absolutely.
that spinach, kale have calcium, high amounts of calcium.
High amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily
And iron
need to
too,
get
right?
that. What's that?
Iron too.
Good for iron, right?
It's good. Yeah, high
Yeah.
iron. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dairy, I notice like when I do start having stuff that has like milk or dairy and stuff like that, you get really mucusy,
Yeah.
Exactly,
phlegmy,
exactly.
it's like you get inflamed kind of,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? You be like, yeah, I'm gonna just have a little bit of this cereal, and before you're like, oh, wow, I feel so,
It becomes the
know?
root cause of illness.
Yeah.
And you really have to start to understand how these things are affecting you. If you look at eczema is something that's nutritionally based, and you can make dietary modifications to your life and begin to cure and correct a lot of illnesses and conditions that people deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
this is so good.
So,
That's so good.
so we talked about what to stay away from, right?
Yes.
So what are, with Corona still being present, and honestly, I had talked about it a while ago, a few podcasts ago, with everybody staying in the house and being closed off and being quarantined, your immune system is actually weakening. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not out and about just getting healthy bacteria and just things of that nature. So what are some things that we can do, or some foods that we can eat to build up our immunity?
Okay.
That's a good one.
The first thing, I let Christians speak about the food. In terms of some of the things that we could do or incorporate into our lifestyle, one of them would be just getting some sunlight.
Sunlight, come on.
Sunlight, the powers of the sun are immense, and getting out, getting fresh air. So
Yeah.
walking, whether we're wearing a mask like Z, I'm glad you're wearing a mask. We're not practicing the greatest social distance, but we all work together on a daily basis. But getting out, getting fresh air, going for walks, and it doesn't have to be an hour walk around Cooper River. You could, do a 30, 20-minute walk within your community, get some fresh air, consume lots of water.
Yeah.
These are all things that are easy and accessible, and these are things that we need to really incorporate into our lifestyle. Staying at home, for the young people, playing video games, being on their phone, being in front of a TV
Right.
constantly. These
Drugs,
things,
they like sex
again, it goes back to understanding how your body operates on a level of frequency.
Yeah.
All these things can really lower your frequency and have lasting effects on your wellness. Christian?
I'm not going to touch on the food just yet, but I will say not giving up on your daily routine. I think that's a huge component that keeps you sharp, that keeps you motivated to continue doing so. Even if it's not doing the same thing you were previous to Corona, just doing the same thing, waking up at the same time is huge. Going to sleep,
getting quality rest, getting quality rest,
going to sleep at the right time. I mean, I started to slip into that toward the tail end of this. Going to bed at 1 o'clock. I was like, I didn't go to bed at 1 o'clock. I got to be up at 5 in the morning.
Right,
Let me get back on track. Let me get back to bed at like 10:30. It's like, ain't nothing going on tonight. I'm like, we inside. We ain't doing it.
That's interesting. So you guys basically gave things that we can do physically to build our immune systems. I didn't even think about that. But what about foods?
The foods.
Yeah.
Blueberries. We kind of already touched on it. Just staying away from processed foods is huge. Anything that's going to bring you down. I mean, you can pack on the weight very quickly. And just trying to get as much whole foods as possible. We were talking in the car, Ivory and I. We were talking in the car just how people make this very complicated. It's not complicated. It's not complicated.
Talking about that. Yeah.
Only slip
It's about
on
simplicity.
It's very.
it.
I mean, if you take it back 2 generations before us, my grandmother made a protein, a carb, and a vegetable, and that was dinner.
Protein, carb, vegetable.
It's really that simple.
That's
really
crazy. It's
because
because
we make it complicated.
We do overcomplicate it. It's funny because we were just talking, Kalia and I, right? Thinking about how we stress ourselves. What did I write? I wrote, we stress ourselves on how to be healthy. So it's like we're stressing ourselves about how to be healthy because in our mind it's like, it's such a process to be healthy,
Go with the E.
Like for me personally, I do a whole checklist before it's like, all right, we're going to do healthy today, Z, okay? And even before I get out the door, I'm in my head like, well, now you got to write your list of what healthy things to buy. Should I avoid this shit? Then I got to go to the store. Then I got to walk through the aisle. Then I got to
find everything.
Then I got to find everything. Then I got to put it on the register. Then I got to carry it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we talk ourselves out of being healthy because there's work that needs to be put into it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'd rather just go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger or go to Panera Bread because I'm eating healthy, right? Because Panera Bread's like the healthy.
Sure.
When I go
sugarless tea.
Look, when I go through the drive-thru of Panera Bread, I swear I'm eating healthy. I swear I'm eating healthy. But it's just that convenience. Touch on that a little bit.
I do want to say that eating healthy is not that expensive and it's not that difficult. First of all, we live in the world of YouTube. When I got most of my recipes, I got it off YouTube. And if you want to go to Whole Foods and buy a $10, ginger shot, then by all means, it's going to be expensive. When you can go to the produce stand, which we have many, Vericchio's on Route 130. I mean, we have many produce stands around. You can go get a pound of ginger for like $3, right?
Yeah.
And turmeric, and put it in a blender, or get yourself a juicer. I have a NutriBullet, and I just chuck it, and that helps to build my immune system. I haven't had a cold or have been sick or mucusy in like 2 years because when I started changing my eating. But it's not that expensive. Go get your foods and download YouTube on your phone, and I'm telling you, that has great recipes on there. And then you have Christian, and you have Ivory over here they help you prepare meals, and or give you some ideas.
That's something.
So we're gonna go to the audience here. We have a couple people who said some stuff. So we have Victoria who said God has given us everything that we need in the earth.
Yes.
It takes discipline.
Very true.
Cheryl said bowl of spaghetti and 2 pieces of garlic bread.
That's my husband. I love spaghetti.
Danny says fasting causes insomnia. Broccoli and a lot of other veggies cause mucus, and some veggies have to be cooked or eaten raw depending on their health
to
benefit.
get all the nutrients out. That's true.
She's absolutely right. It's a lot of information.
Dr. Sadie taught on that too.
But I feel like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? They always say like the greatest things in life don't ever come easy. My doctor told me when I had my appointment, he said if it's in a bag or in a box, don't eat it.
Right.
So fast food, if it's in a bag, in a box, it's just not that great for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my head and my heart need to connect to that.
Yeah.
And it's working on that. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Well, see, another thing you touched upon is that you mentioned that it seems like it's more complex to eat healthy. Mm-hmm. What I will say is that it requires more preparation. You have to spend more time preparing your meals, collecting.
More of a focus.
You have to understand what you're shopping for, you know. So it comes down to a conscientious choice. Do you want to live a healthy lifestyle? Because as you enter 40s, your 50s, 60s, our life is changing.
Yeah.
On the physical, on the exterior, we may look a certain way, but on the interior, our organs are aging and things begin to deplete. You know, and you want to be able to preserve and maintain your wellness as you age, and that comes directly from correlating your good health with how you maintain your lifestyle in terms of your nutrition.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question, y'all.
Come on, hit us with the questions.
I'm young Vito. Voice of the young people.
Let's go. Come with it. Come on
I'm
with
asking for a whole bunch of people right now, okay?
Ask for us.
With all this quarantine, I know I'm not the only one that picked up some quarantine weight.
Yeah. No.
I ain't the only one. Your audience.
Look, he said,
audience, if you picked up that quarantine weight,
he said, I am not.
Throw your hand up. So,
quarantine 15.
with everything opening back up, right? We got this quarantine weight. When we got the mental weight, and we touched on that. You know what I mean? Opened up some things, but we got this physical weight too, and they go hand in hand. So with everything opening back up, right? And then this is really a question for me because y'all know. Okay? Shout out to Ivy and Christian. They my trainers right now. They about to get me right. Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
How do we transition? Because your girl, I'm struggling. Listen, I'm confessing, okay? I'm struggling, transition, trying to get this quarantine weight body back in the gym, back with physical activity, and like work that schedule in. That's why I ain't been late. That's why I ain't been coming. Like, y'all got to give me some grace. It's such a shift, you know? But if they're opening everything back up, it's time. You know what I mean? And even just so y'all know, there's people who not ready to come out yet. It's okay. There's a gym. Come on, Essence Fitness, that will be offering some virtual training. They will have that because everybody's not ready to come back. But even still, for the people that's not ready to come back and the people that's ready to get back, how do we transition into working out again? You know what I mean? Because it's hard.
I think you mentioned it's Essence Fitness Studio.
Located where? In Pennsauken? Where are you going?
Merchantville.
Okay.
Yeah, like some tips to transition because in my mind, I feel like y'all need to take it easy on me. I feel like y'all need to slowly race and finesse me in that joint. But y'all not doing that. They not doing that. Well, maybe that's just me.
It's you.
Right, they give you 10 more push-ups.
There we go.
That's what Christian does anyway.
So, okay, but still, okay, like what if, okay, maybe you don't want a trainer or you just feel like you could do it on your own, you know what I mean? And some people can, you know? What are some good ways to just transition from just kind of just being sitting and chilling to just automatically working out? Because you could pull stuff, you know what I mean?
That's
The
true.
simplest thing
My
is
legs hurt.
walk.
Yeah.
Walking?
Yeah.
Just walk.
Okay.
Just walk. Getting outside again, walk the park, do something. Park your car a little bit further than you would at the grocery store.
And just
walk
get
to the store.
some extra steps.
Every little
right.
bit counts, and on the flip of that, make sure, again, you're resting properly.
Rest is often
Overlooked.
and it's such an essential piece to the equation. It's not just about working out. It's not just eating right. It's getting sufficient rest. It's living your life in a manner where what you're giving is positive.
Yeah.
Once you learn to give, you can then receive, and there's so many components to it. So I think Christian hit it, right on the head. It's about doing the small things, and you just build from there.
Awesome.
So Eva, you were saying how, look, you said, "Oh my God, I saw my trainer again. I've been avoiding him." You want to talk a little bit about like what you don't have to, but if you want,
I don't mind touching on that. So I think for me, I just got lazy. I'll be honest, and then I did not like working out through Zoom. For me, I like that one-on-one. So it was more, and he was great. He didn't give up on his team, he was motivating us. But I prefer
the one-on-one.
The one-on-one and to be more outside. We were like working out in the house. I felt claustrophobic. I was busting a sweat. Listen, and I was. Let me confess.
I'm about to just go get a taco.
I put the phone on, like I took the camera off, and I went to like Wawa and got me a milkshake while everybody else was working out.
You better confess so that you be
Yes. I need to be free of that. Pray for me, please. No, we all in that gym. But I also felt the weight, the difference in my body and in my mental well-being when I began to slack off and not work out and not eat properly. When I began to put those sugars back into my body, I needed that person to keep me,
accountable.
Right. I needed that. So I felt the difference very quickly. Sugars make you go like all the way up, and they make you feel good, and then all of a sudden you start crashing. So you want to go back to feeling that again, so you go back for more sugar, and then you just keep like crashing, and then you keep going back for
vicious
more.
cycle.
It is a very vicious cycle. So I say it's important that you keep your routine, like Christian did mention earlier. It don't feel good, and then getting back to it, I already know it's going to be painful.
Oh my God!
I want to touch on the Zoom.
No. You know what? Push it up. Zoom overrated.
Yes.
Zoom is crowded.
So let me, because I heard you say that earlier, and I got
defend my
point. Zoom is what you want it to be.
True.
It's what you want it to be. Like fitness is what you want it to be. If you want this to change your life, it's going to change your life. If you really ain't about that life,
come on, Christian.
You ain't
about that action.
So,
yeah.
The Zoom. I can say for myself, and I'm gonna put this out there, and people are gonna be like, "Dad, really?" And this is about to change. I've been doing the Zoom workouts from day one, online for my clients for free.
Yep.
And it stops today.
I'm still sending them videos today.
Can you send me a
As
video?
of July.
Come on. The grace is up.
July is over. And I was like, it's been, at first it was everyone's going great. It's what you want it to be. So I'll talk to your point. She had her video off.
You ain't want to connect. You ain't want that person
exactly.
to
So if you really wanted to connect, if you really wanted to be corrected,
take it off.
Show yourself.
Yeah, like you would normally.
Be transparent, right? We talk about being transparent and being visible. All right, I'm transparent. I can call you out on video. Hey, yo, such and such. I need you to do those push-ups differently.
Yeah.
It's what you make it to be, and we can connect still.
Yeah.
It's a video. You're at home, but you're still doing something.
Yeah.
And that was all of the point I was trying to do for everybody is let's continue to do something.
And connect.
And by the time we get out of this, we're gonna be good. That was the drive.
Look, can someone win a 7-day free training with Christian?
A 7-day training giveaway.
Giveaway's over.
Come on in,
We ain't doing no giveaway. We might do an incentive, beloved. But we're not doing the giveaway.
Come on in.
Because you added that working out is what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Years ago, I made the choice. I said, I am changing my lifestyle. So So I went ham. I was in the gym 5 days a week. Listen, it was so bad that I had gone out with my friends, right? I think it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. God was still working on me, you know. So you had a drink, right? I had a drink. Keeping it real. And I went home.
Mom, get your stuff on.
Yeah, look, this is the beginning of my walls. Okay, God working on me. So yeah, so I had a drink. I went home and I said, dang, man, there was probably like 20 calories in that drink. You know what my crazy self did? I went to Planet Fitness and got on that treadmill and walked out at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was crazy.
It's
from that one drink?
Yes.
He was on the treadmill.
I really even feel like there needs to be balance in everything.
Yeah.
Like,
so the balance to that, all right.
Yeah,
I
had no balance.
For those who still drink, all right, and who are drinking currently, it's about the week. It's not about the day.
Yeah.
It's about the marathon. It's not about the sprint.
Exactly.
You got to make sure you're playing the long game. So you overeat that one day. Okay. Tap you on your hand. Let's get moving. Let's eat a little bit less on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. Right.
And you'll be good. It's about the long game.
There's a major misconception that in order to be healthy, that means you can't eat anything bad.
Nah.
Christian and I
never brought it. That's how I got this one. Never brought it. It was never the truth for me.
Christian and I, we try to live as healthy as we can, but we have areas where we fall short.
Absolutely.
Also, you know,
we're human.
We consume fries from time to time.
And also, still, food is meant to be enjoyed. Still,
Chick-fil-A has great fries, but I don't.
They do, Irene.
However,
there's nothing wrong with enjoying food.
It's about finding that balance,
and not indulging.
If you find yourself going to Chick-fil-A 2-3 times a week, the scale is not balanced in your favor, and it's about winning the week. You know, it's not about winning every single day. Winning the week, and once you adopt that lifestyle or that mentality, it makes the challenge a little less.
Yeah, because that was crazy. I was crazy.
That was crazy.
It was crazy because it's like in my mind, it's like if I slip up for one day, all that weight is gonna come back. That was my mind. It was like, you know what I mean? So it's like there's gotta be delivered in the name of Jesus.
Hallelujah!
Okay.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah. So it's like it really there's balance. It's like it's the little steps, like you were saying. Like
and if we
walk.
think like that too, like the negative thinking. Which is a mental health, illness. The negative thinking that we
thinking.
This is going to impact me this way. I'm not good enough to do this, or if I eat this, I'm going to be fat. It's going to happen.
And it goes back to the foods that you eat, controlling your thoughts.
It's going to happen.
You know, not getting enough rest. You know, affecting your mind.
We fail to realize how much power that we actually have.
Absolutely.
With that being said, if I could just add, you know, the mental health part in our brain that is our foresight, and then we have in the back of our brain the reasoning. And so we know that eating healthy and exercising, there's going to be great results. Our foresight allows us to see that. But then we always have that one thing in the back of our mind that's fighting us, that's keep push us because our lungs are going to hurt, or you don't feel like being out in the heat or going outside when it's cold. That's that reason and trying to keep you from being healthy and being fit. But you have the power to, you know, supersede that reasoning in the back of your mind. You know, we all stand here. I believe that we've all been through some mental illness issues, and we have all survived at this table right here.
Hallelujah.
You know, so I just want to encourage all those that you are not alone, that you are loved, and that you can reach out to any one of us at this table, whether it's just to hear you speak, to hug you, to love on you, or to share some recipes with you, to work out with you,
set you up at the gym.
Work out with you. You are not alone. Amen. If you know someone that is dealing with something and needs somebody right now, we are here for that person. So share this on your Facebook page. You know, and we love you. We love you in the name of Jesus.
You know, and I also you also hear that mental health and physical health, like, they're one.
They are.
They
like really are.
90% mind and 10% workout or something. So I think I'm getting those numbers wrong, but it's like you hear that
more mental.
It's like more
it
mental.
Starts with the mental first.
You know what I'm saying? How the mental correlates with your physical. It's
Yeah.
like a healthy body, a healthy mind, a healthy mind, a healthy body. You know what I'm
Healthy
saying?
spirit.
Yeah.
Your healthy spirit. Amen.
Yeah. Danielle said your mind is stronger than your body. It's true. Because your mind tells your body what to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it has to start there first. But I didn't know you guys were so knowledgeable in mental health. I'm not just about to come in here like, all right, 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? But I was pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? And this just goes as a testament of how dope you guys are, and how these are amazing trainers. You know what I mean? Because it's the body and the spirit and the mind, and they go together. And I'm just grateful that we were able to touch on the mental health piece, because I was talking earlier, confessing about that action group, about how there's things internally, mentally, that have to be addressed first. You know what I'm saying? Because you may lack inconsistency or discipline. That could have started from a trauma, from a childhood that never got fixed or never dealt with. So every time you go pick up something, you can't finish. Right. And that's something I deal with. You know what I'm saying? From a trauma, from the childhood. So I just like that we was able to tie it in together, because there may be people who are working out and they're failing and they keep failing. But you may have a food addiction, since that needs to be touched on first. That's mental. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we were able to kind of tie everything in. And I just want the viewers to know that the mental has to be dealt with sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Before the physical can even manifest, before you can even stay dedicated and stay committed, there's things internally and mentally that need to be addressed. So, of course, just glad we were able to touch on all of that.
So good, such a wealth of knowledge. I wish we could talk here all night. You know what I'm saying? So I could write all these notes down and go and tell my husband how healthy I am. No, for real though, it's inspiring. You know, I feel like if you surround yourself with people who are motivated for that change, you know, and to live up, it inspires you like to do better. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm young, you know, and there's this misconception because, well, I'm young and I can eat everything. My metabolism is fast and 100%, you know, but no, like, I'm in my 30s and I have to watch my sugar. Let that hit you. I'm in my 30s. I gotta watch my sugar. Like,
and it's not just you. It's not just you. See, this is the common trend, and our culture has done us a disservice because we have been conditioned to eat things that are counterproductive to our well-being. You know?
Fried chicken. But shout out to Essence Fitness Studio.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to Irie and Christian. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, guys. 44 West Chestnut, Merchantville, New Jersey. Give us a call. You can also go to the Essence Fitness Studio Facebook page and get in contact with myself or the two trainers, Ivy and Christian.
EssenceFitnessStudio.com.
Yes, like I said, guys, they're also virtual training is available, so call in.
And it's not
Thank
free.
you to Evie. And it's not free.
No, actually, can I touch upon that real quick?
Go ahead.
So, in lieu of COVID-19, it has changed the industry drastically. And fortunately for Christian and I, we're in a position where we can really be effective in helping more than the people that are able to walk in to our gym. The demographics have shifted, and now we're able to connect with people all over the world. We have a uncapped market as of now, because virtual training has grown to be something that it always wasn't. You know, the possibilities are endless. And what we have done is taken the initiative to redefine, if you will, what our approach to maintaining our mission is. When we opened this particular location in Merchantville, our mission was to improve the health and wellness within the community. Well, now our mission is to improve the health and wellness of the masses. And we plan to do that with our virtual training. We've launched an entire new program, and we're trying to make it as dynamic and engaging with to individuals as possible, because we believe that everyone is capable of change. You know, this is a spiritual forum, and once you understand the spirit, you understand that everything is possible. So because of that, we want to touch as many people as we can through a platform that allows us to be effective in helping people improve their health.
That's awesome.
Thank
See,
you.
look, so they've expanded it, guys. Virtual. That's the key word.
Yes.
So definitely get with them if you're
That's
interested in making a change for your life. And Evie, thank you so much
So
for
much. Thank
coming
you.
here.
Thank you for
You
having
shared
me.
so many awesome points. And like she said, she
Please
is
reach out,
available.
guys.
If you need someone to talk to, you know, you're not alone. You can hit her up. You can hit Kalia up, myself, even the brothers here. He said, I don't know, but no, just kidding. You know what I'm saying? But we are here. You don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to go through things alone. Sometimes we just need a listening ear.
Is Lend an Ear still?
Yes.
Initiative still going?
Yes.
Pump that
Yeah. So,
Hold on,
I mean,
folks.
you've heard us talk about Lend an Ear initiative on the podcast. It is like just an idea that is definitely spiritually drawn, where it's like you just need somebody to talk to sometimes. So what we do, just to be present. So with people, with everything that everybody's going through right now, sometimes you just need somebody to talk to you, give you advice, pray you through. So Lend an Ear initiative is there's a group of us, you know, on Facebook. So as you make the post or share the post, you're welcome to hit up anybody that you see on that post if you need prayer or somebody to talk to. Just inbox them. You will see it on School of Light's page.
Yeah, you guys can go to the School of Light page.
If you need that link. So
shout out to School of Light. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamal. I see the shout out, and I think it definitely shared a sentiment. It was a great podcast. And for Javier Rivera, how can you join us? EssenceFitnessStudio.com, and we are creating a platform to really help the masses again improve the quality of your life.
Amen. We can definitely share it too on our School of Light page. You guys are on Facebook, like you said, so we'll definitely share it on our School of Light page if you need more information.
Yeah, we'll have flyers and packages coming soon. Also, Evie has War.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's Well at Rehoboth, and it's a ministry that gears towards the mental health conditions, suicide
awareness,
depression, anxiety. We will be having a walk to bring awareness in September, so we'll bring more information. But War is linked with the Lend an Ear initiative as well.
You guys just go on the School of Light page. Now we're here talking. I'm gonna repost it just so it's fresh on the page, and just reach out, even just send a message. We're all connected, so you send a message on School of Light page, you know, make sure Evie gets it. We're all we're connected together, so definitely check out School of Light page and also the Essence Fitness Studio page.
Yes, awesome. Well, that's it, guys. That's our time. It has been such an awesome.
So good.
I feel like that hour just flew by. But you know what? Once again, thank you so much, guys, for joining, and hopefully we'll be able to get you guys back on here soon.
Can we get a clap out?